Hey folks, this is Kalani. Seeing as a few people asked for it, I didn't actually plan to do an Elementalist video so soon, but a few folks have asked for basically what build do I run with my Elementalist, so I thought I'd make kind of a quick video. It's obviously gonna, because knowing me, I'm gonna ramble and it'll go longer than what I anticipated, but shorter than any of my warrior videos, because I have only been playing Elementalist for a short amount of time, which means that I haven't been able to get as in depth as I would like before making one of these videos. But I often run with Scepter Dagger. Now, these two together work really, really well because you've got a lot of kind of melee and control abilities with your dagger. The best example is Ring of Fire and Fire Grab. Insane melee damage, and the Ring of Fire is a perfect addition to the rest of your kit because it allows you to stack might really easily. You've got the very nice cleansing wave off the dagger with the Frost Aura, which with traits can give you a few extra boons. Obviously with the air achievement you've got the control and repositioning with Ride the Lightning and Updraft, and even more control in Earthquake and huge damage in Churning Earth. So why it couples very nice with the Scepter is because Scepter is very mid-range damage. It's got a lot of 900 range abilities and they all kind of complement each other really well. So in Earth we've got a nice blind, we've got a decent toughness. It's like when you use Rock Barrier you improve your armor, and then you can also fire them to, we don't have anything to fire them at, but you can fire them for some extra spike damage. And while you fire them, you can actually swap to your other attunements and do whatever you want, and those will continue to fire, which is really nice. In air, we've got kind of a... I actually don't like Arc Lightning that much because it gets stuck a lot and it's kind of annoying. But it's a channeled auto attack which does more damage the longer it's channeled. We've got the two instants, Lightning Strike and Blinding Flash, a good burst damage and another blind, both off the global cooldown I might add. For example, you can go to Earth Achievement, start channeling Churning Earth, swap to air and use both 2 and 3, the Lightning Strike and Blinding Flash, while Churning Earth is being channeled. So you can see that even though it doesn't hit anything, it doesn't actually break the channel, which is interesting. Water Achievement, we've got a fairly standard auto attack and Shatter Stone. Nice for stacking vulnerability, very nice because of its low cooldown. And one of our heals, Water Trident. Fire is probably the most useful, as it basically lets you, if we get a decent,
I feel good.
You can stack 2 area mites pretty much instantly off the bat with just your fire scepter, which is really cool, obviously comboed with the Ring of Fire. So that's why I enjoy Scepter and Dagger a lot. Going into traits, I really enjoy this build. Now, from the bottom up, because Arcana is one of the more important things, Arcana increases your attunement recharge rate by 60%, meaning you can happily swap between these a lot faster.
I can move mountains.
That's what I really love about the Elementalist. I don't like waiting around for those attunements, so I've tried running with some traits out of 30 Arcana, and it's like, ugh, I really want to swap right now, and it's kind of annoying. So I don't know, I really love 30 Arcana. It gives you a lot of sustain, it gives you a lot of kind of different ways to play. It's like, because you get, basically it buffs all of your attunements, and some of these traits are really nice. Like, you get Might, Regeneration, Swiftness or Protection on attunement, and it spreads to allies. So if I kind of need to throw out a bit of regen, I can swap to water, and that will automatically start regenning for me and party members. It's super cool. If spike damage is coming, I can go to Earth and give everybody a very short duration of protection, which is, again, super strong. But going up the line with Scepter Dagger, it just works so well. Endurance recharges faster while wielding a scepter is ridiculous. It's basically free endurance regeneration. And at the end, Evasive Arcana, I'm horrible with words, I apologise. Create an attunement based spell at the end of your dodge. So The only two that I really like here are the water and earth ones, and they only work in combat, so I can't really show you. But if you dodge while in earth, you'll get a churning earth effect, and if you dodge while in water, you'll get a cleansing wave. Now, they both copy the spell more or less. The only difference is the amount of damage on churning earth does seem to be considerably less, which you'd expect. But it does apply bleeding, it is the AoE, and cleansing wave will heal you and allies, and it will cure conditions. So you can kind of have some really nice combinations with burst healing. So if you go down really low, 3 on top of yourself, 5 and roll back to get another cleansing wave, and that'll heal more than half of your HP. It's kind of ridiculous. I have 10 in water magic, again for a little bit of sustain, 100 vitality and 100 healing, regenerate health while attuned to water, and remove a condition from you and your allies when attuning to water. Again, just helps with that regen. The main damage and the main aspect of my trait build comes in air magic. Now, it relies on high precision and basically good crit damage, but what it works with, Zephyr's Boon, Auras grant Fury and Swiftness, so in this build that's Frost Aura,
I could outrun a centaur.
which is kind of annoying. In Dagger you have another one which makes it even more worthwhile, but you can happily swap this out for either of the others. I mean, a little bit more regen, deal 20% more damage to foes with less than 33% health. It's just, I like it because if I want a bit of swiftness I can go Frost Aura and then swap to Air Attunement. Obviously Air Attunement will give me a bit of swiftness, so it just works really nicely. Strike your target with a bolt of lightning when attuning to air. This is half of the puzzle. Now, the other half of the puzzle is the last trait, Fresh Air. Recharge Air Attunement on a critical hit. We also get 10% more damage while attuned to air, and obviously 60% chance to cause vulnerability on crits. So you get a nice bit of damage stacking, but basically what this build relies on, and how it works so well, is that you keep out of air as often as you can. So you swap out of air. Now that's going to sound really strange because we have the 10% buff, but while we're attuned to air, which comes down, I believe this still works, attunement bonuses linger for 5 seconds. That should include the 10% more damage, and if it doesn't, I can't remember if it's just these traits or if it includes others, but you kind of expect it to include it as well, which means that as long as we have this air attunement, we should be doing 10% more damage. Feel free to correct me on that if I'm wrong. As I say, I haven't played Elementalist a great deal, and it's kind of difficult to find solid information on how some of this work unless we have ArenaNet representatives obviously telling us. But basically what happens is that fire is usually the best place to start, and you'd start with Dragon's Tooth into Ring of Fire and Phoenix to get some nice might going, but then you'd swap to air, and when you swap to air the target gets obviously that lightning bolt when you attune to air, but then you can lightning strike yourself, meaning that as soon as you swap to air attunement, you've got a nice bit of burst damage. So let's see how this looks out on the battlefield. So I'll come down to ore. Hopefully these Risen will stay alive long enough to give us a nice demonstration, if they don't disappear on me. So what I'm going to do is start with Dragon's Tooth into Ring of Fire. Now I'm not going to use any of my utilities, we'll get to those in a little while. Phoenix right on top, swap to the air attunement, and you saw the double lightning strike, even though I got feared. So the interesting thing is, or rather the way this works so well, is that your air attunement will actually recharge on crit. So we can swap back, get a crit, swap back and get a crit. Now it has a little bit of a cooldown, but why this works so well is that basically you can continually swap in and out of air, and every time you swap to air, if the 5 seconds for lightning strike have already passed, you can lightning strike as well and then swap back. So keeping yourself out of air will let you burst down things really fast. and you can pull off some really cool combos with it. Really cool. But this kind of build only really works with the Scepter for that synergy with Lightning Strike. Get a crit, swap to air, double Lightning Strike.
I can move mountains.
So it just works so well. That's why I really enjoy this build. So, going on to utilities, I'll usually use Signet of Restoration. It seems incredibly strong really for any Elementalist build, simply because you get healed every single time you cast a spell. Now, interestingly enough, this counts as every spell. So, when you tune swap, you're casting a spell. When you dodge roll with Evasive Arcana, let's have a look at that, you're casting a spell. It's ridiculous, it really is. But that's been known for a very long time, so that's not really anything new. But yeah, so that's my heal. For the first utility, I'll usually either run Lightning Flash for repositioning, really. Simple repositioning. Any ground that needs covering, Lightning Flash is brilliant for it. Obviously that's just a teleport. If I feel I don't need it, I'd go for Arcane Blast for just a little bit more damage, obviously on that very low cooldown. Now for the second one, I nearly always use Arcane Wave, simply because, comboed with Dragon's Tooth, boom. It's also another blast finisher inside your Ring of Fire, so that's a very, very easy 12 stacks of might, simply by using 2, 4, 3, and then your utility. Kind of overpowered. Now, the last one's usually a Signet. Now, it's either Signet of Air or Signet of Fire. Signet of Air when I'm happily running around, roaming, playing solo. Just kill another one. Or Signet of Fire when I'm in a dungeon, and usually for the bosses I'll swap to Signet of Fire, simply because I'm not going to be moving around a great deal. Most of the bosses are tanked in one spot and kind of nuked down, which is a little disappointing, but hey, if I don't need to move, no point to have Signet of Air, so you can happily swap those out. Now, the Elite is kind of annoying, because I really love the Conjure Fiery Greatsword, but sometimes it's like, it's awkward. The best thing about the Fiery Greatsword is the number 3 Fiery Whirl, but if you kind of can't use it against a wall, you end up flying all over the place. It's like you go ridiculously far with the Elementalist one. You go a lot further than with a Warrior one, which is kind of strange, but apart from that, it does have really good auto attack damage. It's pretty decent, and obviously the number 5 Firestorm. Now, the best thing about the Fiery Greatsword is actually Fiery Rush coupled with Lightning Flash, but I still can't pull that one off very well. Basically what you'd end up doing is creating basically a patch of fire. I wonder if we can get that done in a little bit. Pick up the other one. Wait for Lightning Flash. But apart from that, the only real elite you have is Elementals. The Tornado is kind of useless for PvE. It's a bit disappointing that it doesn't give you a huge amount of vitality and toughness, such as the Necromancer kind of version of turning into the Swarm, I believe it is, or however that works. It only gives you stability, and I find I die quite a lot as a Tornado, but the Glyph of Elementals is obviously very useful. You've got the 4 Elementals, which will deal damage or heal, deal damage or stun, deal damage, and is hard to kill, obviously depending on your attunement when you do cast that. See if we can... I still don't know how this one works, but that's okay. I'm still learning Elementalist. I managed to pull off the Burning Speed one in Dagger. That's fun. I think I need to Lightning Flash as soon as Fiery Rush comes up, but I'll keep practicing. But Fiery Greatsword is a lot of fun, if not incredibly powerful. But that's the trait line and obviously skill set and weapon set that I've been running for a while, and it's always my go-to. I try out different things. I've had 30, 30, 0, 10, 0. I've had a few where it's 0, 25, 25. Can't remember. 20 maybe and 0. I don't know. I love the synergy between the fresh air, obviously that being the last trait in air, and Scepter. It just works so well, and you can see the damage is very, very good. So there's not really any reason to swap out of it. It's a really nice mix of damage and sustain, obviously with the Arcana in there. But that's my trait line. Oh, quickly go over the gear. Currently I'm running half Zerka, half Celestial, pretty much half and half. So I've got Zerka all the way through for my armor. Currently there's Ruby Orbs in there. That may change to Scholar. I kind of dislike Scholar, but the damage increase if you can stay above the 90% health is there, which is kind of annoying. But a superior sigil of Bloodlust and a superior sigil of Battle, obviously helping you to get those stacks of might, and every time you kill a foe and don't die, your spells become more powerful, so there's not really any reason to not go for them. You can see that literally it's half and half. I've even got myself a Celestial Dagger. But yeah, so all my Ascended accessories are full Celestial. Don't know why I forgot that one. I've got swap in and out for Celestial Amulets. That's also for my Karmic Infusion. And sadly, because we can't get Celestial backs, I've got a Zerka back with a Celestial Jewel. So I hope that answered any questions. If anyone does have any questions or queries left, please do leave them in the comment section below, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks for watching, folks. Good luck and have fun, and as always, I will see you next time.
Time to do some real damage.
Ha! Nailed it!